welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to break down the exact step-by-step rules for the 2024 version of Monopoly Deal. This is the ultimate beginner's guide to help you sit down, start building your empire right away, and, maybe ruin a few friendships in the process. Whether you're playing for the absolute first time or just need a quick refresher on the precise mechanics, we've got you covered. We're going to dive right into the source material to get you playing fast and, more importantly, playing right. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's anchor onto the absolute magic number of this game. 3. Literally keep this number in the back of your mind at all times. Why? Because the entire ultimate objective of this game is to be the very first player to collect 3 different property sets. That's the whole shebang. You get 3 sets and you win. Every single other thing we talk about today is just a tool to help you get to that magic number. Here is our agenda for today. 1. Goal and game setup. 2. Anatomy of your turn. 3. 3 ways to play cards. 4. Paying rent and debts. And finally, 5. Wilds and special cards. Section 1. Goal and game setup. Setting the stage. Setting this game up is incredibly fast. You just give each player a reference card and toss any extras right back into the box. Then give the deck a good shuffle and execute these 3 quick steps. First, deal exactly 5 cards to each player. Second, place the rest of the deck face down right in the middle. That's going to be your draw deck. And third, the youngest player goes first. Throughout all of this, definitely look at your own cards, but make sure to keep your hand hidden from everyone else. Once that youngest player is ready, play just proceeds clockwise around the table. Section 2. Anatomy of your turn, the flow of play. Every single turn you take is going to follow this exact same timeline. At the start of your turn, you always draw 2 cards from the top of the draw deck and pull them into your hand. Then, in the middle of your turn, you can choose to play up to 3 cards. Notice I said up to. You can play 3, 2, 1, or, you can actually choose to play 0 cards if you really want to. Finally, your turn ends, and you've got to check your hand size. If you're holding more than 7 cards, you have to discard down to 7. Oh, and a quick pro tip here. When you discard action cards at the end of your turn, just completely ignore any action text written on them. They just go straight into the discard pile, no effect whatsoever. Now, there is one massive exception to that drawing phase. If you are completely out of cards, meaning you start your turn with exactly 0 cards in your hand, you get a huge boost. Instead of drawing the usual 2, you get to draw 5 cards from the deck to jump right back into the action. Section 3. 3 ways to play cards. Where do they go? So keeping your played cards organized on the table is absolutely crucial. You basically have 3 zones. First, you have your bank. You can play action or money cards here by placing them face up in a single pile. Everything in your bank is worth money. But remember this, if you put an action card into your bank, it loses its text completely. It's only worth the money value printed right up in that top left corner, and you can never, ever play its action later. Second, you have your collection. This is where your property cards go. You lay them face up in front of you, totally separate from your bank and organized by color. And there's no limit to the number of properties you can have out. Third, you have the discard pile. This is where you put an action card when you actually want to perform the action written on it. And guys, the golden rule across all 3 of these areas. Once you play a card from your hand, you can never pull it back. It is out there for good. Section 4. Paying rent and debts. Navigating transactions. Okay, what happens when someone plays a card that forces you to cough up some cash? You can choose to hand over money from your bank or properties from your collection. But where does that stuff actually go? Well, it's vital to know that properties you give them slide directly into their collection area. Meanwhile, money or action cards from your bank go straight into their bank. Basically, properties never, ever go into a player's bank. Let's look at a few of the really strict rules of debt, because these are super easy to mess up. First, like we just said, never pay with cards from your hand. You only pay from the cards that are already on the table in front of you. Second, you, the person in debt, get to decide exactly how you want to pay. The player collecting the money doesn't get to choose. Third, and honestly, this is truly brutal, there is absolutely 0 change given in this game. None. So if you owe $2 million and your only option is a $5 million card in your bank, you hand over the $5 million and you don't get $3 million back. Overpaying hurts. Lastly, if you just can't afford the full amount, you just pay everything you have. And if you have absolutely nothing on the table, you pay nothing. You're completely safe. On the flip side, when you are the one demanding rent, keep this in mind. If you have multiple properties of the same color, you collect the total combined value listed on the card. But you only collect that total amount once per set, not once for each individual property card inside that set. Section 5. Wilds and special cards, bending the rules. Wild cards are incredible game changers for starting new sets or finishing them off, but they come with a very strict set of limitations you really need to memorize. First off, you can rearrange wilds in your sets on your turn, and doing so is completely free. It doesn't count as one of your 3 card plays. Pretty sweet, right? However, wild properties can never go to your bank, and that multicolored rainbow wild property, it cannot be used as money. Also, you cannot have a complete set made up entirely of wild cards, and you can't place a wild into a set if it would exceed that set's maximum card limit. You just have to use it to start a brand new set in that exact same color instead.
Next up, let's talk about your massive money makers. Building up a set with a house or a hotel can make your rent absolutely deadly. But remember, house and hotel action cards don't go to the discard pile. They get placed directly on complete property sets. Now, they cannot go on railroads or utilities, and you max out at 1 house and 1 hotel per set. If your set gets broken up for any reason, you've got to discard the house and hotel. Interestingly, though, if you are forced to use a house or hotel card to pay off a debt to another player, it goes into their bank as money, not to their property collection. Finally, double the rent has to be played together with a rent card. And yes, it definitely counts as one of your 3 card plays for the turn. But hey, play 2 of them and you are literally quadrupling the rent.
So, looking at all that crazy offensive power, you might be wondering, how on earth do you survive if your opponent throws down a massive hotel rent with a double multiplier right in your face? Well, your ultimate defense is the Just Say No card. It's an action card that you can actually play on another player's turn. It completely cancels at effect, but it only protects you. So think about this. If someone plays a Collect Rent card on the whole table, and you drop a Just Say No, you pay absolutely nothing, but everyone else still has to pay up. Even better, it can be used to cancel another Just Say No card. Just keep in mind, if you happen to play a Just Say No on your own turn, it does count against your 3 allowed card plays. And that brings us right back full circle to our magic number. Keep your eyes firmly on the prize, because the exact second you lock down that 3rd, completely different colored property set, the game ends immediately, and you are the victor. No waiting for the turn to end, you just win on the spot.
So now that you understand the mechanics, the flow of the turn, and all those sneaky gotchas, you are fully equipped for action. The rules are mastered, the deck is shuffled, the only question left is, who are you going to bankrupt at your next game night? Good luck building your empire, and remember, knowing the rules is only the very first step to mastering the strategy. Catch you next time.